Hello and welcome to another replay cast from the FOTS Samurai Summer Championship 2024. This is a series from the upper bracket round 3, played between Chaos Blade and the black and green banners and the tournament admin, TsR Atlantis in the white banners. We are here on Happo Ridge, which was picked by, I believe, Chaos Blade. So I'm not quite sure. Let me check real quick and tab out. Yes, it was picked by Chaos. So I just checked the brackets. And we see a sword dojo on the left, a shrine in the center, and an archery dojo on the right. So probably the three most important dojos. Especially for Samurai, where the archery dojo is a lot more important than in vanilla. So it will be interesting to see, but usually on this map anyway, both players go for all three dojos, which is very much possible here. And army-wise, Chaos Blade is playing with 2 Red Bear on the left flank, Black Tortoise, the US Marine in the center, a Black Tortoise on the right ridge line, so he has a 2 Black Tortoise around his Aura Marine unit, very good. And 2 more Red Bear on the right, very solid positioning. He also has 2 Spear Levy, one on the right, one on the center. His general is a mix between gun and leadership. And for his cavalry, he has sorry, he has 2 Yariki vanilla on the left, a revolver cav, a saber cav vanilla, another saber cav vanilla, and 2 more Yariki vanilla on the right. So no upgrades on this cav. Probably not a bad decision, given that this is not a map where cavalry is particularly strong. For TsR Atlantis, we have 2 Red Bear on the left, so similar positioning. A Black Tortoise on a ridge line, also similar positioning, or identical, I should say, to Chaos. Also a US Marine in the center, also a Black Tortoise on the right ridge line, and then he has 2 Red Bear with a Shogun infantry on the right, so he has 1 more infantry here. And except for unlike Chaos Blade, he doesn't have a spear levy, but 1 Shogitai without spear protection as his melee force. And then his Cav consists of 2 Yariki, 2 Revolver Cav, and a Saber Cav. His general is a full Ganbate general. It will be interesting to see whether he uses this general proactively to use the extended range, but I don't think he will do it. Here we see the first, I was going to say good first volley from Chaos Blade, but he will find himself in a 1 versus 2 very quickly as the Shogunate Guard, the Shogunate Infantry starts firing. This is not going to go well for Chaos. At the same time, he of course wants to deny him his sword dojo. But I don't like this move from Chaos. This is the only flank where he is outnumbered infantry-wise, and he's going into a line battle against the Ganbate army. Probably not ideal. And the Shogunate infantry is pretty good in a shootout. It's an underrated unit. And it keeps having a very decent line of sight, so this Red Bear will just die. Now it's shuffling from... Yeah, I think he has to retreat it to save it, because they're not going to fire. Yeah, completely routed. Unfortunate with the shuffle bug, but it happens a lot in FOTS Samurai. But on the right side, he does have the archery dojo now, which negates the advantage from the gun general and makes Chaos Blade's troops even superior when it comes to their shooting stats. But of course, this is a huge problem for him. He has already lost a full line. Now he has only 1 Red Bear on the left, a Black Tortoise on a ridge line, faced against 3 line infantry and the Shogitai. And Here we also see a bit of a miss-micro. These Spear Levy are going to suffer. He got the Shrine as well, so he got the better dojos. But he lost a lot in compensation. So Atlantis is taking his time here, which he can afford to do. He doesn't need to use the Shogitai early on. It's a very good unit to have in a late game, especially when there is less cav on the field. But yeah, Chaos Blade keeps going into the line infantry engagement, taking first volleys and hoping to be able to follow it up, for example, with the Spear Levy and with the Gaff that's coming here. I think this is a better side for him to take the engagement than the Sword Dojo side. But the problem is he has to keep up the pressure here, otherwise this Spear Levy is going to die for nothing. And I'm not sure if he has enough units here to keep up the pressure. Atlantis might even shoot the Spear Levy with a revolver, which would be a waste of ammo, but maybe he just wants to get rid of them. Yep, he's shooting it. I mean, it's not cost effective in theory, but sometimes you just want to get rid of the units of the unit that's chasing you. And at the same time, very good micro from Atlantis, turning around his general, doing considerable damage to this revolver cap from Chaos Blade. Already down to 26 men. And now Chaos Blade has to take a very, very bad engagement up the hill, far away from his main force, and close to Atlantis' general. So he's going to lose this gaff fight decisively, I think. And at the same time, it looks a little bit better on the right. Spear Levy is still on the field, having eaten one revolver cav volley and still chasing on. But let's have a look at how much cav there is on the field. So Atlantis still has this revolver cav. These two are going to neutralize each other. And then he has a saber cav, a Yaruki, and a half-strength revolver cav left, which in combination with the Shogitai unit, where is it? Where's the Shogitai? Wait, did I completely miss it? He might have already used it. Or is it hidden at the moment? I'm not sure. Which is unfortunate because I like to see Shogitai charges. But either way, yeah, this is a big problem for Chaos now, being at this cav disadvantage. At the same time, Atlantis still has his full strength general, which can be used as a sniping unit quite well. And this Red Bear by Chaos, although in the forest position, which is quite good, is going to get 2 versus 1. And this US Marine by Chaos, still on 0 kills, hasn't been active in the game so far, versus Atlantis' Marines on 130 kills. Yeah, now Chaos Blade concedes the game. Had he gotten this Marine over the ridgeline, he would have, of course, gotten shot first, so he couldn't use this superior range anyway. But I think this is a game that was decided by a less than optimal start for Chaos. I think taking the engagement early on the wrong side. I mean, he already got 2 dojos, but he wanted to get the third dojo as well, and it cost him a full line infantry. And then the surrounding maneuver of the 3 gaff units was a complete disaster. Getting shot at by the general and then getting annihilated by downhill charges. I think the Spear Levy usage on the right was actually quite good. He was able to put a lot of pressure on Atlantis, forcing him to use his revolver cav ammo on the Spear Levy, at least partially. Yeah, this Gav maneuver in the back was enough to swing this game in Atlantis' favor, who also used the Marines more efficiently. Yeah, I completely missed this the Shogitai usage. So they died, 114 men lost, only 17 kills. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, sometimes you miss things when you cast replays. I think I was focused on the right flank while it happened. But yeah, very solid game. Atlantis held his position defensively, managed an orderly retreat, and at the same time um, having enough awareness to kill Chaos Blade's cavalry in his back. Cav-wise, kill-wise, there are no surprises here, I think. Aside from this Marine, of course. It would have gotten probably 100 kills or something if he hadn't conceded the game, but still it wouldn't have been worth it, given how late it would have gotten active in the game. So yeah, either way, so Atlantis goes in the lead in this best of 7, and I'll go straight to game 2. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. And we're back with game 2 between Atlantis and Chaos Blade. This time we are on Gunma Field, which is Atlantis' pick. And we have a farmhouse on the left and a workshop on the right. The farmhouse being the dojo that is probably easier for the player starting on Atlantis' side to capture, whereas the workshop is in a better position for Chaos Blade here. But I think both players still want to prioritize the workshop here. And Atlantis brings army-wise a Red Bear on the left, a Shogun Guard Infantry, a Black Tortoise, a Royal Marine, another Black Tortoise, an Infantry Marine, a Red Bear, and a Spear Levy, so two 150s with 5 Cav units, 3 Yariki, 2 revolvers. So a very expensive army with 2 150s. It's probably a good decision to pair it up with 2 revolvers. So you have 1 each to protect the 150 units in case of any Cav charges. And for Chaos Blade, we have Shogun Guard and the Red Bear with Spear Levy support going for the forest line around the workshop. In the center he has Black Tortoise and the Royal Marine. And on the right he has 3 Red Bear with 2 Yariki. On the left he has 2 more Yariki and 2 revolvers, so slight Cav advantage to Chaos. Of course, with range advantage being in Atlantis' favor. Who's playing very aggressive here to not give up the forest line completely to Chaos, which is a good decision here, I think. Retreating now the Spear Levy, so he doesn't want to go into melee, but just use it to absorb the volley. Revolver Cav going in to get off 1 shot. Let's see, 22 kills. It's okay, I guess. And now we see a very messy engagement. Both players having a Spear Levy in the mix. However, Chaos Blade's Revolver Cav got entangled in a melee fight here, so they have their swords out, which is a problem. It can happen sometimes without really any mistake from the player. The only thing you can do is correct it as fast as you spot it, which he's doing now. So he's retreating the Revolver Cav to get some distance again and get it to shoot again. With an attack order on Atlantis' Revolver Cav. Let's see if it actually works. It doesn't. Okay, this is very unlucky for Chaos. A full Revolver Cav on 23 kills. Routing because it got stuck in melee and then running away 1 second before he could fire. At the same time, he has a Yariki with an attack order on Atlantis' General, intercepted by Revolver Cav, so they're not going to connect here. And it looks like Chaos Blade is being able to hold this forest line, but at the price of very heavy losses. And Atlantis's force is of course more closer together, so being able to support each other much more quickly, whereas Chaos Blade's right flank is very much isolated, having to go up close here to Atlantis's troops in the forest line, which is an engagement that is very beneficial to Atlantis, who will get the first volley, maybe even the first two volleys, because Chaos has to go up very close, so he's in the forest as well. And if Atlantis just puts one Yariki on this flank and goes in, I think this could spell disaster. And this Shogun infantry is just going to massacre everything that comes at it, because this is just regular line infantry. And at the same time, oops, okay. Well, that was a quick one, but I think as soon as he spotted the Shogunate Guard infantry and the Cav running through this gap, I think Chaos knew that it was over and his flank was going to get rolled up. So very understandable to concede the game at this point. But yeah, I think again, two factors played a very important role here. One, Atlantis being aggressive on the right, which was a good decision tactically. Two, Chaos Blade being very unfortunate with his Cav, especially with his revolver. It just sucks that sometimes happens with this unit. It's a bit RNG that they go into melee. And the third factor being, I think, Chaos Blade needlessly splitting up his army just to get the farmhouse. I don't think that's something that's worth it. Against an army that is so compact and equipped with two 150s. So it was obvious that Atlantis was going to stand his ground and not maneuver too much. So once the shootout started, Atlantis was basically settled, and then it was too late for the three Red Bears from Chaos to get in and support. So yeah, very interesting game. Spear Levy being very important here, although the stats don't reflect it. And yeah, one of the Royal Cavs getting 77 kills, most of it which was cavalry, I think. So this is very good. I didn't actually focus too much on the Marines. I just focused on the Cav fight and the positioning. But yeah, one of the Marines being certainly worth it, but the other one didn't lose too much either. So if the battle had been going on for longer, I think the Royal Marine would have gotten a lot of kills as well. One revolver being probably worth it for Chaos, the other one being the more unfortunate one. But yeah, interesting game. Very simple tactics, which I think makes for a great viewing, because you can very easily see what works and what doesn't on this map. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. This means the series is 2-0 in favor of Atlantis, and I'll just hop straight into game 3. Thank you for watching. And we're back with game 3 on Uzui Pass, which this time again is Chaos Blade's pick. As this is a rush map, I'm going to keep the game paused as I go over the armies, because things tend to happen quite quickly here. So we have as dojos a workshop on the left, a farmhouse in the center, and the shrine on the right. I would even say that workshop is the least important dojo here, and the farmhouse the second most important, because as this is a hill map with a lot of ground to cover until you get to the top, The farmhouse is actually quite important in terms of increasing the stamina of units, as they will get exhausted quite quickly. But anyway, let's just go with the army. So Chaos Blade has 3 Red Bear, has his whole infantry force. Then he has lots of melee. Yarikachi in the center. 3 Shogitai, so the maximum amount of possible. And then as Cav, he has on the left is Saber Cav, probably to capture some dojo or something. 2 Yariki rank 2. 2 Revolver Cav. Very risky on this map, but it can pay off big if you get the good timing. And 2 more Yariki rank 1. And his general is a full Bushido gen with heroic assault. Then for Atlantis, we also have lots of Gav. So okay, this is messy. I'll just go with the infantry first. So he has Black Tortoise on the right. Interesting that he doesn't go for a Red Bear. A Red Bear, 2 Red Bear, 3 Red Bear in the center, one of them having Suppression Fire, which I think is a good choice on this map. On the left he has a 4th Red Bear, and 1 Shogitai rank 4. Interesting. Chaos Blade's Shogitai have 21 attack, his have 23 attack, which means he only has one attack upgrade. No, I don't think so. No, I think he actually has 2 attack upgrades, but Chaos Blade uses the Sword Retainer, which gives his units +2 attack. That makes it more logical. But I don't know what he spent the other 2 upgrades on. Probably on speed or something. Interesting. And then as Cav, he has he still has his Gunbatte general, which is interesting. So he didn't change to Bushido gen, which a lot of people do. And then he has 2 Yariki, Revolver Cav, Shogun and Guard Cav, rank 5. Interesting. This unit costs about as much as a rank 5 Marine unit. And then 2 more Yariki Vanilla and a Saber Cav as well on the flank. So interesting that he has the same idea as Chaos. And then 1 Revolver Cav in the back as opposed to Chaos Blade's 2 Revolver Cav. So apart from this 1 Shogun Guard Cav, which is very much threatened by 2 Revolver Cav, Chaos Blade has the stronger Cav because he has upgrades and he also has higher charge with his Bushido gen. So let's have a look at the engagements. Yariki against Revolver Cav. Revolver Cav get their shot away, very nice. Here we have Yariki. This is problematic here. Atlantis going for a side charge from with the Shogun Guard Cav, opening up basically their sides to a Revolver Cav from Chaos, and this is going to be super painful. 1,500 Coco units being shot at by revolvers. Atlantis trying to respond here by killing the revolvers with his own, but this might be too late. This Shogun Guard Cav is dying. And here the second revolver is going to quit Atlantis' revolver, so very much a trade-off here. And here it says winning decisively for Chaos Blade. Yeah, I mean Atlantis still has this, and both players still have a full revolver here. Atlantis could have risked going for the Chaos Blade's general here, but decides to retreat. Chaos Blade keeps going. Well, I was going to say he was going to keep up the pressure, but he actually retreats now with his own. So both decide to keep 1 revolver in their roster for later. And yeah, they're going to neutralize each other, I think. So both have a revolver and a Saber Cav left. And afterwards, it's going to be lines versus Shogitai basically. And if you don't have that much cav left, it's going to be really difficult defending these Shogitai. Nice targeting by Chaos, getting attack order with the Red Bear on the Rover Cav. Not killing too much though. I think he didn't have a complete line of sight. In the meantime, Chaos Blade got the workshop, which is going to boost these Shogitai even more. And now he has the initiative because Atlantis has to pull back in order to avoid the Shogitai for as long as possible. Chaos Blade can get the hill position and can shoot down with his infantry, giving him a big advantage. At the same time, this Black Tortoise force is in a completely hopeless position. He can't really retreat here with the Saber Cav going hammer and anvil. And yeah, so this unit is basically dead. It's just about whether he can save his main line of infantry and effectively kite here. But it's difficult because once these units turn their back to the enemy, their morale is going to suffer. So this unit was wavering for a couple seconds already. Here Atlantis got a depleted Yariki into the Shogitai, which is actually very good. But unfortunately, if these Red Bears turn around, I don't think they have a line of sight. So he has to keep pulling them back. And here the Shogitai keep on chasing and chasing. And both still have a revolver cav on the field. However, 118 kills versus 16. I think Chaos Blade has much more ammunition left. And around the shrine, we have Atlantis' Shogitai winning decisively against Chaos Blade, who is targeting the line infantry with his Red Bear and not Atlantis' Shogitai. I think this is a mistake. He should just fire into this blob and risk team kills in order to kill off this Shogitai. However, now the battle evens out, probably due to the workshop, which helps your units in prolonged fights. But this retreat from Atlantis has gone very much wrong. He just doesn't have the units to evade these Shogitai really. He has no blocking units. He has a depleted Saber Cav, but that's about it. He can't really use a Revolver Cav as a blocking unit. And I doubt if he even has ammunition left here. So this is just going to be a very efficient downhill chase from Chaos Blade, where he can take the initiative wherever he wants, basically. And Chaos Blade just killing off the remaining cav of Atlantis with his revolvers. Nice targeting here from Atlantis with the Red Bear. But I think the revolver is going to survive. And he actually had ammo left on his revolver. Nice move here to wait to use it to kill to shoot at the Saber Cav. I think this was a good move. It's of course questionable whether it would have been better to maybe shoot at a Shogitai earlier. But now there are... I mean, one Shogitai is still on the field, but it's given up the chase. I think this is just a mistake from Chaos. But now this Yarikachi is the biggest melee threat on the field. And it's going to catch up to the Red Bear, even though no one has the farmhouse. But I think they're just faster, to be honest. I don't know if they actually are faster or if it just seems like it. It wouldn't be that logical because Red Bear has 2 armor, so they should be much lighter than Yarikachi. But Yarikachi seem to be pretty good at chasing units in my And yeah, now Atlantis going into a last stand around the shrine, getting his revolver calf into melee. And this red bear is just going to clean up. They're actually going to survive this battle on 160 kills. Very, very impressive. But yeah, I think this was a somewhat stronger build from Chaos. Combination of the better general for the map and the number of melee units, I think, was more balanced. And you much rather want more melee units on the field rather than just one unit that it's more highly upgraded. Just so you can chase basically on every flank and be more flexible in that way. And also, of course, this Shogun guard calf, where is it 27 kills, being annihilated by revolvers. That's always the risk with these units. Otherwise, I quite like them. But yeah, it's hard to recover from that. If you lose 1,500 Koku in the beginning of the game for very little in return. Also, the bodyguard, the avatar. 40 kills isn't much for a Ganbate general. You wanted to keep firing basically the entire battle, and 40 kills is not very much for that. So yeah, very solid game from Chaos, good army selection. Big fan of Yarikachi, they always deliver. So not even surprised that they have more kills than the Shogitai here. Because if there are 3 Shogitai on the field, it's easy to underestimate or maybe not focus too much on the Yarikachi, and it just cleaned up the flank and was super efficient. But yeah, very good game. Very fun map also. And this makes the series a little bit closer in that Chaos gets his first win, and the score is 2-1 in favor of Atlantis. And given this that this is a best of 7, there will be at least 2 more battles. So I think that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll just hop straight into Game 4. See you then. Bye bye. And welcome back to Game 4. We are here on Chugoku River, which has been picked by TsR Atlantis. And dojo-wise, we see from Atlantis' perspective on the left side a workshop, in the center a farmhouse, on the right side a sword dojo. Usually the better dojos are on this side for some reason, so I suspect that this hilltop will get prioritized by both players. I suspect Atlantis is bringing an unchanged gunbattery general, which he is. Then calf-wise, he has 4 Yariki and 2 revolver calf. His infantry consists of 4 red bear, 2 on each flank, and a Zhuo Dragon Force, which only gets picked because he already maxed out his red bear contingent with the max for same rule, and also a black tortoise and the US Marine and a spear levy. The black tortoise having some reload upgrades, it would seem. And 4 Chaos Blade. Also 2 revolver calf. Also 4 Yariki. So pretty much identical calf force, even upgrade wise, 100% identical. And then for his infantry, he has 2 red bear on the left, a Shogun guard infantry, a spear levy, a royal marine, a white bear, a black tortoise, also with a reload upgrade, and 2 more red bear on the right. So Chaos Blade having slightly better infantry here, although I would suspect it's 1 unit less. So it's 1, 2. Okay, part of it is hidden here, so I can't say really. But yeah, he definitely has 2 guards versus 1. And I think the Shogun guards can be really strong here on that hilltop, where it doesn't really need the extended range of a Marine. But yeah, both players deciding not to overextend, ignoring the workshop, so far at least. I think maybe Atlantis is actually going for it with his calf, which I'm now just seeing has rank 3 upgrades, so it's not actually identical calf setup. So Atlantis has invested 150 Koku more into his calf, which might not fully explain, but somewhat explain why Chaos Blade could afford this Shogunate Gold Infantry, whereas Atlantis has only one guard. But Chaos Blade having the more aggressive position, both players negating the Sword Dojo. And let's have a look at this. Spear Levy against Spear Levy. Atlantis realizing his mistake, that he was shooting against the Spear Levy. And this is obviously much more efficient with the US Marine having much more ammo, and they can afford to shoot some salvos at the Spear Levy. However, this meant that the Chaos Blade got the first volley. This is still quite even though Chaos got the first volley, but he has the advantage of about 20 men. And now this is probably not a good idea from Atlantis, going straight for the calf while a shootout is going on, which is always, or almost always, I should say, a desperation play. I still do it sometimes myself, but it usually always goes wrong. So this Yarki, I think, is completely wasted. At the same time, lots of things are happening. Here we have a Red Bear against Red Bear, not too exciting. But here we have a very nice volley downhill from the Shogunate infantry against the Red Bear. It might actually be a good idea to target the revolver calf here, which could be very dangerous if it comes too close. And this Black Tortoise, I don't think could support the Shogunate Guard calf if Atlantis decides to go in with his revolver. So this could spell trouble for the Shogunate Guard infantry, especially with the supportive fire from the Avatar by Atlantis. Very efficient here. Now he goes in with his Yariki. I don't agree with this. I think one of the, maybe not two, but one revolver calf against the Shogunate Guard, and I think he would do very fine here. I think the Yariki is going to struggle a bit more. At the same time, Atlantis retreated his Marine on 50 men, and Chaos Blade still has 110 Marines. So obviously this trade has been going very much in his favor, but I don't like how unprotected this Shogunate Guard infantry was. Routing with only 90 kills isn't very good. Now we see Revolver Calf shooting down a Yariki. And here I think Atlantis got shot by this Black Bear, by this Red Bear, but he should still win this combat with his upgrades. Chaos Blade is getting super thin on this forest, on this hilltop here. He only has Calf in his general, basically, with both his Black Tortoise and the Shogunate Guard dying. So Atlantis might use this to get up the hill with his Spear Levy, which has no threats here, really. But of course, he's having problems of his own with this Red Bear having made the very smart move around the Sword Dojo, getting some really good flanking shots against the Red Bear now. And might be a good idea for Atlantis to position his avatar roundabout here to just keep firing at the Red Bear out of range. Actually, I forgot to mention that he had a second Spear Levy. It's routing now. I miss a lot for some reason today in casting. It's harder to get an overview on the replay than when you're playing yourself sometimes. But yeah, he had two Spear Levies, one of them being now routed, the other one making a very good move on the hill. Even if it dies here to Revolver Cav, it will be worth it. And it's giving his 2 lines perfect cover to push up this hill, which also gives him a little bit more protection from this flanking maneuver from Chaos if he is successful. At the same time, I mean, neither players really use their Cav that efficiently. I mean, a Yariki going against a Black Tortoise, is that really worth it with 2 line units firing at it? Probably not. Both players are more like using their Yariki Cav as blockers and not really as Cav units in a more traditional way. I guess it's fine if both players do it. But it's weird that we haven't seen like a traditional Cav battle so far. Chaos Blade actually firing with his revolvers at the spear levy. Let's see if Atlantis can return fire, but his Red Bear was shooting at the White Bear for 1 second before it got routed. And now Chaos Blade, with just cavalry and a 70-man White Bear unit, is reclaiming the hilltop. Very nicely done. And it looks like he is able to continue pushing, having superior morale. He also has a gun battery general, which he must have changed after the initial 2 games with the mixed leadership gun general didn't work out too well for him. Chaos Blade's White Bear actually going into melee here, but his unit is tired and it's a White Bear, so they won't do too well. At the same time, I think Chaos Blade's Marines are already off the field. But these 2 flanking Red Bears, 130 men, 135 men, 140 men, are just too much for Atlantis to hold, I think. Because on the other flank, it's quite even. Or actually, even here, Chaos Blade has an advantage, so, which is why he thinks he can afford to take the first volley. And Atlantis making the correct call, retreating into this forest hilltop for a last stand and potentially a comeback. Although he is the attacker in this match, so technically Chaos Blade can just wait it out and have the rules force Atlantis to attack. Still has 2 very depleted Cav units. Chaos Blade has 1 very depleted Cav unit, and then they both still have their gun battery general with 155 range. But I think Chaos Blade can just push here and force Atlantis out of this hilltop. Not that he has to, but I think he could if he wanted to. But I'll just speed this up as both are repositioning. And yeah, I think the only chance, or maybe not the only chance, but the best chance for Atlantis to win is to get like a lucky punch here in a Gen versus Gen fight to knock out Chaos Blade, which is very unlikely to happen. Chaos Blade got the better trades here. Now he even has the men advantage, 26 to 23 men in the general unit. And Chaos Blade got the Sword Dojo, very good decision. Also has the farmhouse. And Atlantis has declined to go for the workshop so far. Let's see if he changes his mind. Seems a bit indecisive, keeps maneuvering his Cav from left to right and back. But yeah, Chaos Blade is the defender. He can just relax and be very comfortable in the balance of power, I think, which is maybe a bit too much in his favor, but still accurate directionally, and that he has an advantage. I mean, he has 4 solid red bears left, and with a 6 morale black tortoise. Atlantis is a lot more squishy. I think Atlantis knows now that he has to attack. Although he isn't fully going for it yet. Still trying to skirmish versus General. Chaos Blade doing the same. Yeah, just a lot of back and forth. I mean, Atlantis is trying to make the best of it. His general is his only chance, so he has to give his unit a lot of time to make an impact. But I think Chaos does not want to wait. This is very risky, because with only a Gunbatei general, this unit will have very squishy morale. Both players activate Gunbatei, and Chaos is going straight into melee. He should still have ammunition left, so it's just a tactical decision, I guess. Got a slight downhill charge, so it might work. But this unit is not being able to support here. Terrible angle and no line of sight. And this was very wasteful by Chaos, I think. Yeah, Atlantis' unit even survives. I think he got a little impatient here, even though he didn't have to. But this is still in his favor. It's just an unnecessary loss of a unit. He definitely shouldn't repeat that move. And yeah, and here I think he actually can push. I think he just needs one salvo on this black tortoise, and then this unit should be gone. Wavering, general supporting, and it's gone. Very nice. Unfortunately, his general can't really chase this unit because now Atlantis' Revolver Cav and Gen is coming to support. Otherwise, the best decision would be to shatter this routing unit. Has to be careful not to get too close to the Revolver Cav in case it still has ammunition. Ooh, this is going to get spicy. It still has ammo, I think. No? Okay, this is weird. Maybe it doesn't and only had like one shot or something. Weird positioning by the Red Bear. It has an attack order now on the Azure Dragon Force with supportive fire by Chaos Blade's General. Here, Atlantis has a 2 versus 1. A bit of a mistake by Chaos. He's a bit slow to react with this other Red Bear. Although I think he should be fine. I think this Red Bear will do okay morale-wise in any second. This 30-man unit will rout. But here his Red Bear is struggling. Wavering even though it's winning. Does he have a line of sight here? Very awkward. Both the generals could die here. Chaos being more at risk, obviously. But finally, I think he has a line of sight. Not bad, not bad. His general actually survived that. I thought it was gonna rout. A very interesting late game. Atlantis' general has died, so this is over now. All the units wavering. I mean, in the end, he had two red bears with respectable numbers left. So, but for a while it looked much closer than it was in the end, which can sometimes happen in these gun-bate versus gun-bate battles, because both players have very low morale and rely more on skirmishing and sniping, and you don't want to push your advantage too far, where you run into morale problems by having isolated units do solo pushes, which he did at one point with one red bear on his right. That didn't work out too well. But yeah, the Marines performing much better than Atlantis' Marines, getting the first volley, obviously, after the US Marines fired at the spear levy, I believe. And I think some of the revolvers by Atlantis could have used a bit more aggressively early on. And it could have saved him some more Yariki, which was used by both players quite wastefully. But a good amount of kills on the general. Always a good unit in the late game. But yeah, I think it was a good decision by both players to bring Spear Levy. I don't know about that second one positionally, but you should definitely put one on the hilltop, which both players did. And I also like that Gale's Blade brought the Shogunate Guard infantry. It just wasn't protected enough, so it got killed a little bit too early. But I like the army selection a little bit more from him than from Atlantis here. But still a very good game, and this means that I think so far both players have lost. No, they haven't lost all of their map picks. I think Chaos Blade picked Uzui Pass and won it, but yeah, interesting game. And the score is now tied 2-2, so there will still be at least 2 more games in this best of 7, and I'll see you guys in game number 5. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. And we're back with game 5 between Chaos and Atlantis. This time on Kanto Plains, a map picked by Chaos Blade with an archery dojo and a farmhouse. For Chaos, as is usual on this map, we see lots of cavalry, 2 revolvers, 2 Yariki on the left, overloading that flank, 2 saber cav in the center, and 2 more Yariki. No, 1 Yariki and 1 more saber cav on the right. Then going for the forest, he has 2 red bear. Interesting that he doesn't put a 150 here. He still has his Kanbate general. And in the center, he has 2 black tortoise, one of them being upgraded to rank 1 with a US Marine. And on the right, he has 1 more black tortoise and 1 more black bear. For Atlantis, we also still have the Kanbate general. He has a spear levy going for the forest. Also 2 red bear, a black tortoise with a royal marine, and another black tortoise in the center, and 2 red bear on the left. So again, infantry-wise at least, very similar compositions. Also both deciding to put their marines in the center. This is not something I agree with, but we'll have to see how they play it. There was some cav here that just went into hiding for Atlantis, but he also sticks to his guns in that he keeps playing 2 revolver cav and 2 Yariki vanilla. I assume he has 2 more Yariki here. And 1 saber cav in the center as opposed to Chaos Blade's 2 saber cav. But yeah, I think this is somewhat compensated by the spear levy investment. But it's interesting that the spear levy is going to the far right from Atlantis' perspective. So he's not using it as a meat shield in the forest. which he doesn't really need because there's no Marine here. So he uses the Spear Levy instead to assist the eventual Cav fight. I think that's a good decision. And Spear Levy is also really strong and really good for baiting Revolver Cav into firing at it. So I like this move. At the same time, I mean, this is pretty standard, 2 Red Bear versus 2 Red Bear. Probably somewhat better positioning for Chaos Blade because this unit is out of the forest. And Chaos Blade already popped Gunbate, which Atlantis hasn't yet done. But in the center, the engagement is starting. Chaos Blade being a bit more proactive, meaning that his Cav covered a bit more ground, while Atlantis is reacting with the Cav of his own. So he will connect without any casualty with his Saber Cav into the Black Tortoise. This is going to be very efficient here. This Saber Cav, however, is going to get absolutely slaughtered by the Red Bear. Here we have Saber Cav against Saber Cav, and nice targeting from the Black Tortoise on the Royal Marine. His US Marine also has an attack order on the Marine unit. However, this is a terrible line of sight. Part of the reason why I don't like playing 150 range units here in the center. You can pull it off here on the right side, but in the center, close to this dojo, 150s are not ideal. Maybe he can at least shoot the Cav, which he should be able to do. But he's not able to capitalize on catching this Royal Marine, which had to fall back. Lots of stuff happening here. Weird formation from Chaos Blade's 2 flanking forces. Getting some good shots into this blob that was held up by a Saber Cav. And while these 2 Red Bear continue to fight, now Atlantis has popped Gunbate, by the way. We see some maneuvering from Chaos Blades, attempting to run around the Spear Levy, which are AFK at the moment. This is not optimal. I don't know what Atlantis is trying to do here. I don't think this is on purpose. And oh, this is interesting. Point blank shootout, Marine versus Marine. I didn't see who got the first volley, but I think Chaos Blade has the favorable engagement here. Also very even terrain. But this revolver could change things and will change things. Very good use of revolvers. At the same time, a depleted Yariki, well, it won't actually get into the general unit. Ooh, and now the revolver, after killing off the Marine, actually routing Chaos Blade's own revolver. He still has 1 left, but still, this is a very clutch unit here in the center. Now getting focused by the general as well. But on the flanks, it looks quite dire for Atlantis. One of his revolvers is getting shot. It killed off a Yariki from Chaos Blade. And the shootout was won quite decisively. I mean, look how many men these 2 units have left, and it was a pretty even fight, Red Bear against Red Bear. Very impressive, and it just shows how strong forest positions can be. And I think he might have also gotten the first volley, though I'm not sure. But yeah, these Spear Levy are entering the game way too late. I mean, they were just AFK for too long. And on the right side, I can't really analyze how Chaos Blade won here, but I think he got some very good shots into units that were held up by Cav, while ignoring the infantry that was placed in the forest by Atlantis, which he would have lost against in a shootout. So this was also a good decision to focus the units in the center. And this is now pretty much decided in that Atlantis has barely anything left. His units start to waver. All of the elite units are off the field, so it's just regular infantries and depleted Cav units fighting it out to the end. And Atlantis concedes the battle. I think, again, two factors, one of which I already mentioned, decided this game in favor of Chaos, one being the superior position on Chaos Blade's left, so the forest position, giving him a big edge in the infantry fight, and then taking the initiative in the center, forcing Atlantis to react, which meant that he had some great charges with his saber cav into the infantry. And while Atlantis had to use his cav to stop Chaos Blade's cav, but he couldn't really counter that well, except for that one revolver that killed off the Marine and the other revolver unit from Chaos. It was probably the MVP unit here, this one, of the whole battle. But still, it wasn't enough to turn the tide in favor of Atlantis. And yeah, some of these red bears just underperforming. Maybe it also had something to do. I mean, it wasn't just the forest position; it also was the early gun battle by Chaos, which was very well timed because he also supported some of the units in the center as they were charging, and Atlantis's gun battle came much later. Very impressive kills. Vanilla Saber Cav 123 kills, and the red bears, 3 red bears over 100 kills. Very solid display, and yeah, I think that's all there's to say about this match. Very simple again, simple but effective strategy by Chaos. Taking the initiative, going for superior infantry positions, and yeah, that was basically all he had to do to win this game. So well played to Chaos, who now, for the first time, leads the series 3-2 after being down 2-0. And this also means, given that this is a best of 7, that the next match might be match point or will be match point for Chaos, who can win the series, or if Atlantis wins the next battle, we might see a tiebreaker match. So I'll just hop straight into the next game. Thank you for watching. Bye bye. Welcome back to Game 6 of the match series between Atlantis and Chaos Blade. This time we are on Atlantis' map pick, which is Waterfalls. And you can already see him choosing to play a parrot gun. So he likes to go for artillery on this map. But first, let's have a look at the dojos. We have a workshop on the upper side and an archery dojo and a sword dojo in the valley. Both players, by the looks of it, deciding to split up their forces. Atlantis has 2 Black Tortoise guarding the parrot guns. Probably has lots hidden because I think this replay is from Chaos Blade's perspective. Then we have Imperial Infantry and Red Bear in the valley, going for probably the archery dojo. I really like the choice of Imperial Infantry. It's one of my favorites in the infantry units, very underrated. And on the left side we have a Red Bear. And then cav-wise, let's see if he changed something up. Still 2 revolvers, 2 Yariki. Might still have more cav hidden, but either way, still the Gunbate General. And then for Chaos Blade, you already see something very interesting, which is a Kisho Ninja, vanilla, being placed here on this nice hill on the edge of the map. He probably anticipated that Atlantis would bring artillery. Maybe this was intended to be a counter. However, this is still quite a distance for the ninja to go. And usually there are units in this forest patch, so this isn't a safe bet that the ninja will actually get the RT. But either way, in the left forest patch from Chaos's perspective, he has Red Bear and Black Tortoise. 2 Yariki. Then he has a red bear, probably going for the archery dojo. He has a red bear, a black tortoise, and a royal marine, rank 5, and another black tortoise force. So again, 2 black tortoise coupled with a marine, a very good combination. And a saber calf, a yariki, all calf again vanilla. 1 more hidden revolver calf. Unless the second one is also hidden. No, I don't think. No, it's not hidden because this is from his perspective. So only 1 revolver calf this time for chaos. Interesting choice. And I'm curious where he will position his Royal Marine, because the terrain is quite awkward in this valley side. And Atlantis could just completely avoid it, which he's doing now. Like, he doesn't even try to cross the river. And no, I've already seen that calf, but there is 1 more US Marine that's been hidden. And a red bear that's going up the hill, which forces Chaos Blade to retreat with his Kisho Ninja, making it even more of a distance to reach the artillery later on. But I don't think Atlantis suspects anything just yet. This is just a regular decision to go up here. And I mean, by going down into this valley, Chaos Blade will get the better dojos, that's for sure. But still, it's quite a handicap, because you're giving up initiative by being down there. And Atlantis can surround the area and bit by bit take favorable engagements. But it looks like Chaos Blade has been luring Atlantis into a hidden red bear, which got the first volley. However, the combat is quite even. It's quite curious because he has the forest advantage. And it's a red bear against a black bear, but somehow this is winning. And the rover probably not being necessary here, but still making sure that this red bear doesn't survive for too long. And the problem is Chaos Blade doesn't have too much support here. He's forced to retreat. His red bear is probably going to die. Yeah, it's already routing. And this black tortoise needs to make a run for it, because it will not have sufficient support. And Chaos Blade decides to position his marines about here. Decent line of sight, but again, Atlantis can just avoid it for as long as he likes. And the artillery hasn't yet fired a shot. Atlantis has actually repositioned it on this little hill, which is further away. I wonder if he has a if these marines are in range, but I think they might just be. Now, of course, the ninjas can get into them. Let's see, they're still in stealth mode. And I don't think... Did he spot them yet? His calf is moving backwards? No. Now he spotted them. I think he suspected something before, because this was quite fast. The artillery is making a run for it. So they only lost 8 men, and these ninjas will certainly die. Yeah, this is probably a good decision. I think he should be able to get these men back lodged to the artillery. He just won't be able to move them anymore, I think, but he should still should get it functional again. And yeah, so far nothing else has been happening. So just go triple speed. I suspect the next thing we'll see is that this artillery opens fire and then Chaos has to react by repositioning. It's not actually fired a shot yet, even though there must be units in range. I think are they bugging? No. Now it started firing at the CAF force of Chaos. I mean, this is also quite useful because technically, with his artillery, he is fulfilling his duties as an attacker, which he is. So he can take his time to think about how to approach this situation while using up his ammo. It's probably a good covering of space from Chaos because there's no way. I mean, this isn't red line camping because the red line is over here, but functionally it's the same because the only path down here is about here, and that one is covered by infantry. So it's very clever positioning, and it's not breaking any rules because that's just how the map is. I think this was a move by the Spear Levy to uncover the hidden marines to enable his artillery to fire at them. But I don't think the artillery hit anything this round. So it was a good attempt, but a bit unlucky. And now we might actually see some general kiting again. Yeah, in these situations, in these tiny little skirmishes, you would always favor the one on the higher terrain, better mobility. And if he wants to relocate, he will always be faster because Chaos Blade would have to run uphill if he wants to aid an engagement at some other place. And Atlantis can just move around on even terrain. Artillery tried to snipe the general, didn't hit anything again. I mean, so far they haven't been too accurate, although they have 2 accuracy upgrades. This one's decent. Yeah, it's not too shabby. 20 men from the revolver. But yeah, Chaos Blade lost a ninja unit, and he lost a full red bear. So it's quite understandable that he wants to camp this out and say, come at me, you're attacker. Because he doesn't really have the resources to go on the attack here himself. Which doesn't make for the most exciting replay, so I'll just have to go triple speed again. This one's a nice hit. I think it went from 138 to 113. Not sure why it wasn't hidden anymore, because there's nothing spotting it. Let's just wait it out. I Artillery stopped firing. I think he wants to conserve ammunition. Until either the revolver or the Royal Marine is visible again, or the general. But as he stops firing, he has to do some other aggressive move as attacker. Decapping the archery dojo, good decision. If Chaos Blades wants to stop it, he will be shot at by artillery again. Let's see. I think this one missed, or just killed a couple. And now we have a bigger engagement starting. Black Tortoise against Red Bear. Which has been hit by the US Marine. And now return fire from the Black Tortoise, but they won't be able to do much here. He has to retreat here, red morale already. And now Atlantis is turning up the pressure. Artillery keeps firing at the Marine. And there's really nothing else infantry-wise other than this Marine. So it's not a bad decision to go up with the Spear Levy to enable the Imperial Infantry to do some damage. Create some space for the Cav to go through. It should definitely go towards the left. It should ignore everything that's here. She needs to move to the left now. He decides to countercharge the Cav instead. But this just looks like Atlantis has superior numbers in every engagement that matters here. Saber Cav can't really do much against these Red Bear. Another Saber Cav being thrown into the mix. Doesn't help that he's being sniped by a supporting general. And the Black Tortoise on Chaos Blade's right flank has evaporated. And this is a foregone conclusion. He has 2 more Yaruki, but there's no window of opportunity to actually use them efficiently here anymore. So this is just a wrap. I suspect he will concede any moment. I mean, it says close defeat, but it wasn't that close in the end. But yeah, I mean, on waterfalls, I think it can be quite seductive to go into the valley when there are better dojos there. But in my experience, it backfires more often than not, even when you get the good dojos. It's not a position you want to find yourself in. So I'd still probably go the upper side most of the time. And then maybe get some units to negate the dojos from my opponent in the valley. But also, I mean, the army choice was more solid from Atlantis. Getting ninjas to counter artillery is good in theory, but I've tried it myself many times and never really works out. Even if it works, you're going to lose the ninja immediately, and then, I mean, basically your big coup would be to kill a 1200 Koku artillery with a 900 Koku ninja unit. It's not that big of a deal, to be honest, even if it works, which it often doesn't. But yeah, and then it was a nice idea also with the ambush in the beginning, but he was just overwhelmed by numbers due to splitting his army. Again, very simple total war here. With good ideas, being employed by both sides. The artillery was a good idea as an attacker. But yeah, the execution and I think the army selection definitely favored Atlantis on this one. So he managed to win again after a couple of losses. So he's now tied 3-3 with Chaos, which means we will actually go the full length of this series of the best of 7. And there will be a final decider match on the tiebreaker map, which we'll see in a couple seconds. So see you in the next game. Thank you for watching. And we're back on the final game of the series, game 7 of this best of 7 between Chaos Blade and Atlantis, and we are on the tiebreaker map, which is picked by no one. It was actually predetermined before the series started. So it's Hida Mountains with a sword dojo, a farmhouse, and a workshop. And given that this map is a predetermined decider map, there's also no attacker-defender balance here. So they're both playing as equals in that sense. So for Chaos Blade, we have an unchanged Gambate General, so has Atlantis. And I straight away see a lot of infantry. So Red Bear, Red Bear, Red Bear, White Bear, US Marine, Shogun Guardian Infantry, White Bear, Red Bear, Spear Levy. Cav-wise, he has 3 Yariki and 2 revolvers. Very interesting. And for Atlantis, we have Red Bear, Spear Levy on the left. Shogun Guardian Infantry, Royal Marine. Interesting. So far, very similar. Black Tortoise, Black Tortoise, Black Tortoise, Red Bear. So he has more numbers here, but worse infantry than Chaos Blade. And Cav-wise, he has 2 Yariki, one of them on rank 3 on the right. 1 more Yariki and a revolver, but I think there's more. I suspect that he would keep playing with 2 revolvers, so there's probably a second one about here. But yeah, interesting that both players, at least so far, decide to ignore the sword dojo. Deciding to go for the positional advantage of the terrain instead. So this map is very, very interesting. You can do lots of things there. You can line spam, you can rush, you can play mixed builds. It's very versatile. Here on this left side from Atlantis' perspective of the forest patch, the terrain is quite even, but the more you get closer to the sword dojo, the more iffy the terrain becomes. So usually when you play with 150s, you either position them on this hill, looking downwards, because you can't really shoot straight here through this terrain, or you put the 150s around this area next to the center dojo. But it would be wasted in this area, and it would be wasted here. So it's a very interesting map positionally. And we see the first shots being fired, so I'm going to go to normal speed. First volley for Atlantis here. And here, I'm not actually sure, but Chaos Blade has the forest position, so this looks quite good for him. And this is interesting, so Chaos taking the initiative again, just like on Kanto, with very aggressive Cav maneuvers. And he looks pretty confident to take the engagement here. Catching Atlantis on the retreat. I think there was a slight micro mistake here because these 2 line units were in quite odd and deep formations for a second, enabling both these red bears to fire. And now we see Yariki against Yariki. Here, Atlantis countered Chaos Blade's Yariki, however, by backcharging his own Black Tortoise. So this red bear will do lots of damage firing into this blob. And here, where we have the expensive units, things are going to get interesting as well very soon. Spear Levy against Spear Levy. This Shogunate Guard infantry is very exposed. It has an attack order on the Royal Marine, however, it doesn't have any line of sight. And now this revolver is coming in, and will it be able to fire? It will. But only one full volley, and then it gets a bit iffy with the Yariki. So it gets tangled up here, and it gets tangled up sideways, which enables this Shogunate Guard infantry to kill lots of revolvers, even though he's shooting the Shogunate Guard infantry of Atlantis. This is very good for Chaos Blade because he's essentially trading a Yariki for a revolver. And here we just see spears against spears. The terrain is quite deceptive here. Terrible line of sight, so neither of these four bear infantry from Atlantis and Chaos are actually firing. But I see that Chaos Blade has popped Gunbate, favoring his units slightly, I would say. So Chaos Blade Spear Levy routing Atlantis' Spear Levy, which also has to do with him being in a regular formation, while Atlantis' Spear Levy were in a loose formation. So in a 1 versus 1, this favors the more dense formation. And what is this? Yariki getting into the general of Atlantis, very interesting. And now 2 Revolver Cav going for the follow-up. This could be overkill if either of these revolvers can kill the general. And this is very smart. He's going for 1 revolver on the gen, and the other one was positioned to shoot at the Marines. However, now he retreats it with this countering Yariki. So good reaction from Chaos Blade, saving his revolvers. And now he even gets the favorable engagement here. I think he got the first volley, White Bear against Red Bear. And this just looks terrible for Atlantis. He has to make a run for it, retreating, trying to reorganize around this Royal Marine, which is still on full strength, 150 men. But this 1 revolver being lost and the Spear Levy winning for Chaos Blade, I think has caused quite a disorder in Atlantis' ranks. Because even if it's just a Spear Levy, I mean, it can cause such... Oh wait, this isn't actually the Spear Levy, it already routed. But the Spear Levy, while it was still on the field, can really shake up things just by being a melee unit and eating up bullets and making room for your own infantry. And all the while on Chaos's left flank, it actually has evened out quite a bit. I don't know how that happened, to be honest. Oh, it's actually because 1 Red Bear of Chaos Blade has decided to abandon the flank and assist in the center, or on the right, I should say, by targeting this Royal Marine, which is not a bad decision. It forces this Royal Marine to reposition. And he actually has the farmhouse and the workshop now. Sword Dojo being ignored, but he just has so much more infantry left that this is basically over. Shogunate Guard infantry only had 58 kills. It was on a pretty deep formation around here in the beginning, and has an awkward angle, I think. So the positioning from the Shogunate infantry, Shogunate Guard infantry, was suboptimal. And these 2 Marines are quite similar in terms of kills. So for once, the battle is not decided so much by the Marine exchange, because they are quite equal, but basically by everything else that's been going on. Beneficial Spear Levy fight, more initiative on this flank. Even though it looks like he lost here in the end, he actually won it, if we count this Red Bear. And I think more efficient use of the cavalry. He was a bit later to use both his revolvers. Atlantis threw in one quite early and paid the price for it. And yeah, I think it's these small things that can decide the battle. But definitely, even though the elite units were all assembled on Chaos Plates, right? I think what happened on the left flank is actually what decided the battle in this case. Very strong revolver calf. Not even sure what it fired at. But yeah, you could see also in the situation where the general bodyguard was entangled in a melee fight that there was quite a bit of disorder on Atlantis' left flank, and he couldn't get the micro right because you don't really want a 155 range gen caught in anything that even looks like a melee engagement. And the Black Tortoise, I think, really underperforming here, being outclassed by the Red Bear Corps that Chaos Blade went for. So he went for a lot more solid infantry. And his bear infantry delivered. So he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bears with 100 kills or over, which is really good. Which also implies that his calf played a really nice supporting role, enabling his infantry to shine. But yeah, this was quite an interesting battle. And this, of course, also means that Chaos Blade wins the series 4-3 after being down 2-0. So this is quite an impressive comeback from Chaos. Maybe it has something to do with being more comfortable with a gun battle general. So the first two battles that he lost, he played with a mix between leadership and gun. A type of general that I quite like myself. But maybe Chaos is more comfortable with different gens. And edging out this series means that Chaos Blade will move forward to the semi-final, where he will play against Black Fury, a game that I hope I'll be able to cast as well for this channel. And Atlantis, on the other hand, will move down into the lower bracket, where he will be playing against the winner of the match between myself and Veni Vidi Vici. So I probably cast those two matches as well. Either way, this has probably been the longest video of either the FOTS Summer Championship or the Vanilla Summer Cup. So we went full 7 battles here, but I hope it's been enjoyable for you, and I'll see you in the next replay cast. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.